Hey, everybody. Welcome to
Hey
OpenLab.
everyone.
Hello.
Thanks
Welcome.
for joining us. Oh, we had a bump there. I noticed that we get a lot more viewers on YouTube. It must be easier
It must be, but
to
didn't it used to be
watch
the
from.
opposite? Didn't we used to get
Yeah,
more viewers on Facebook? So I don't know what
yeah.
happened,
Hmm.
but
Regardless, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, right now it's just all YouTube. So just make a comment and we'll see it in our question or our comments box. So if you want to ask us a question, we can address it later or make a comment or enter swag. Feel free. So we always start with a Roadhouse reference. So,
let's
Kim,
do it. I mean, I know that's always my favorite part. It's ridiculous. Hi everybody. It's so good to be back after missing the last open lab. I was on vacation. Well, it actually ended up being more of a staycation. I just did day trips and stayed at home and but
those are
during
the
my time
best.
away, yeah, I know, right? During my time away, I found out some really cool trivia facts and I found out some of them before I left about our favorite movie Roadhouse that I wanted to share. And I was inspired by our very own Jeff, who did this
Yay.
whole Roadhouse presentation to our team during our last team meeting, which was amazing. So here are 5 fun facts that you may or may not know about the greatest film of all time to kick things off this week. Fun fact number one. Anyone who was a fan of Dirty Dancing or was just alive in 1987 probably remembers that Patrick Swayze had a song on that very successful soundtrack called She's Like the Wind. Oh, it was all
Oh,
over top
God.
40 radio at the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Now, I'm not going to tell you my opinion about that song because I would never speak ill of the dead. However, unbeknownst to me, Mr. Swayze also has a song on the Roadhouse soundtrack called Cliff's Edge. And this song is kind of incredible. Not in a this song belongs in the Rolling Stone top 100 greatest songs of all time list, but I mean incredible in a way that only songs from 80s soundtracks can be. So I have a link and I'm going to put it here and you can listen to this song while you watch clips from the movie. You're welcome. It's absolutely
I got another update
amazing.
on that little trivia fact number
You
one.
do what?
So we went to the Outsiders Museum, which is here in Tulsa. And of course, that's where there's a whole group of these guys that got their start with that movie. Patrick Swayze is one of them. And apparently, according to Rob Lowe, he wanted to get that song, "She's Like the Wind," somehow inserted into that soundtrack for The Outsiders, but it just wouldn't fit. So he'd been working on it since then, even. So
That's
Wow.
amazing. First of all, and also the fact that there is a an Outsiders museum.
yeah, it's the house where they filmed. Somebody
That's kind
bought
of
it
mind
and turned it
blowing.
into a museum. So
That
I'll
is
have
kind
to
of mind blowing.
post.
So I just want to address. I see a comment real quick from Fiends Only. What is the goal of this seminar? So, if you're new here and you're hearing us talk about the movie Roadhouse, this is just a fun little thing that we like to do at the beginning. It's kind of like an icebreaker thing, but we are here to talk about e-commerce and Inventory Lab and Amazon News and things of that sort. And if you're new to Inventory Lab or whether you've been with us for forever, feel free to ask questions. We always have a Q&A portion that we get to a little bit later. So feel free to throw any questions out that you have. But like I said, this is just right now just a fun little thing that we like to do, just because it's our show and we like to do it. So Roadhouse fun fact number 2. Patrick Swayze hated his mullet, his glorious, beautiful mullet. And he said that hairstyle was the bane of his existence. And it's just too bad he passed away back in 2009 because the mullet is making an incredible comeback right now. I mean, not just among grown men, but even a bunch of boys at my son's school are rocking amazing Kentucky waterfalls right now. So it's really something to see.
Kentucky
Fun
waterfalls.
fact, there's so many other names for mullets, but I'm not going to get into all of them. But they're ape drape is
Uh,
another one. Just
Be
all sorts of
nice.
great stuff. Uh,
Come on, honey.
was QB for the Cincinnati Bengals. His teammates called him Roadhouse because, Dalton. Fun fact number 4, if you watched Roadhouse, you know that Kelly Lynch played Dalton's love interest Doc. But what I didn't know was that Annette Bening was originally up for the role. And she was replaced because allegedly there was no chemistry between her and Patrick Swayze. That sounds like an Annette Bening problem to me
yeah,
because
obviously.
really? I know, right? And the final fun fact is this. during the big fight scene at the end between the bad guy Jimmy, who, spoiler alert, gets his throat ripped out, and Dalton, the actor playing Jimmy thought he was hitting Patrick Swayze with a prop log, and in fact it was a real log, and the two actors had agreed ahead of time not to pull any punches, and the resulting fight was so intense that Swayze walked away from it with 2 broken ribs and a knee injury, while the other actor Michael Teague ended up with a broken eye socket.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I heard Michael Teague interviewed about that, and he was saying that he was pretty impressed with Swayze's athletic ability because he was a trained martial artist.
Yeah.
Not Swayze, but the other guy, Michael Teague. So
Yeah.
I've got a little video clip of that. Now I don't have any sound because I thought I was going to play it while you were talking, but then I thought, oh, maybe it'll mute them. But here's this is just the highlights, but it's coming up here towards the end. That was a ballet kick right there. Had to be, right?
Oh, that looked completely like a ballet kick. There are times you can
Yeah.
definitely tell Swayze was a dancer.
That was another one.
Yep.
So it's just about here. It did look realistic, and it's nice to know it was.
Yeah, they really
Forgot
were.
about the
They
rib.
were really hitting each other, which was crazy. That's how he ended. Well, of course, when he hit him with the log, that's how he ended up with the broken ribs. But isn't that amazing?
Saved on makeup, and there it is.
There
it
it
is.
is. Okay. There he just broke his ribs. Okay.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
that looks so
Wow.
painful. Ah,
You know what movie I've been told to get into is Black Dog, starring Patrick Swayze, Meatloaf, and Randy Travis.
really? I am not familiar with that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Interesting.
I had my friend add it to the media library, and I'm going to watch that this weekend. So
Excellent. Excellent.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Oh, about a truck
So-
driver. Okay.
Is that what it's about?
Yep.
I think he also did one. Was that Blue Mule?
I'm not sure.
I think that
Yeah, that
was
doesn't sound
a.
familiar either.
Gosh, what was it?
Interesting. Okay, so we've had our fun now, so we'll jump back into the stuff we're really here for. So as most of you know, we love to give away free IL swag every Open Lab. So if you want a chance to win some, all you have to do is answer a question in the comments section along with a hashtag, and you're on your way. So since we're in the full swing of the holiday season, the question this week is, what's your favorite holiday? Along with hashtag holiday. So just answer that question in the comments section. What's your favorite holiday? Don't forget the hashtag holiday. That's the most important part. And your name will automatically be entered into the swag drawing at the end of the broadcast.
Apologies, that wasn't Swayze. That was Jan Michael Vincent. So easy to get them mixed up. But I think they both had mullets.
Is it though, Jeff?
Well, not really, but I was just coming up with an excuse. So yeah, he also did. What was it? Blue Thunder, the helicopter thing. I think.
I don't know. Some of those are not on my radar.
Yeah.
They're just not.
All right.
Like
now we've learned.
Iron Eagle. I watched.
Yeah, Iron Eagle. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. But yeah.
So we found out through several comments that have been added to videos after the fact, and also from some support tickets, that this next segment is the most favorite segment of Open Lab. So kudos, Kim of Kim's Corner.
All right.
I love that.
All right, guys, welcome to another edition of Kim's Corner. Like I had just mentioned, it's hard to believe, but the holidays are upon us. And in fact, if you walked into any retail store all the way back in August, you would have thought the holidays were right around the corner back then. But it is November, so the holiday season is honestly, truly here now. So with that in mind, I just wanted to provide you with a little holiday selling checklist to help you get through the biggest selling season of the year. Now, had I been here for the last Open Lab, I would have focused more on preparing for the holiday season ahead of time. But since it's here already, this will just focus a little bit more on what you can still do to help maximize sales and increase your profits. So first, here's a list of the important days in the United States to keep in mind. We have Thanksgiving coming up, of course, on November 24th, followed by Black Friday on the 25th. So that's kind of the unofficial start of Christmas shopping season. Although, again, we're seeing, every year it seems to get pushed back, a little bit further because we're seeing Christmas decorations and things in the stores so early.
Yeah.
But I still
Too early.
consider 24th and 25th kind of, the official start. Then there's Small Business Saturday, which is immediately after Black Friday on November 26th. We have Cyber Monday. I think everybody's familiar with that, on the following Monday, November 28th. Then we have Green Monday, which is December 12th. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with this day, it's a day labeled as such because this is the Monday when shoppers tend to scramble at the last minute for holiday gifts and try to take advantage of all the biggest sales and deals. They've realized that for whatever reason, this particular Monday, it's, I believe, usually the second Monday of the month. It happens to fall on the 12th this year. That tends to be a huge, huge shopping day. Then we have Hanukkah this year, which is between December 18th and the 26th. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, of course, December 25th or 24th and 25th. We have Kwanzaa, which is celebrated between December 26th and January 1st. And of course, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, celebrated on December 31st and January 1st. So since we're already well into the season, here's a list of some of the things that you can do right now. Analyze your sales data from past years. That is going to be really, really important to give you an idea of where you stand going into the new season. So if you don't have tools in place for this, consider investing in some, such as Inventory Lab, of course, or Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a great tool for, figuring those things out and to track your sales and track your trends. Another tip is if you don't already invest in online advertising, consider doing so because it's never too late to do that. And while you don't have to create advertising for your brand or business for every individual holiday, you should at least be aware of them and acknowledge them in some way. You could create some content for social media or include some verbiage on your website or your Amazon store. Make sure your social media and blogs link back to your online store or website landing page. You can maximize your SEO by using optimal keywords. And again, there's a lot of great tools out there if you're not sure, like, what SEO is, which is search engine optimization, or how to go about using keywords. There's a lot of great resources out there that you can check out. Make sure everything you're posting, everything online, check it for spelling, grammatical, and factual errors. The last thing you want is for, people to get the wrong information or to think that, your online site looks unprofessional. Make sure you revisit your shipping and return policies. It's really important that all the language is clear and easy for customers to understand. You also want to let customers know what the holiday shipping deadlines are. So if they need something to get there by Christmas, for example, you want them to know exactly when they have to order by. You might want to consider offering deals, discounts, or coupons as incentives to customers. And finally, just make sure you're providing quick, reliable, top-notch customer service. Ensure that you have enough staff on hand to help you with customer returns, questions, and complaints, and that you're responding to everybody in a timely manner. So those are just a few things you can do to help you get the most out of the holiday selling season.
Awesome.
And speaking of returns, remember that the extended holiday returns policy is now in effect. So anything purchased between October 11th and December 25th, eligible to be returned all the way to the end of January. So
fantastic.
Yeah. All right. And now it's time for Books Keep Buzz.
Books Keep. So the Books Keep gang has been really busy with their blogs since the last time I was here. There's actually 3 great new pieces on the website. The first one is a blog piece entitled Going Beyond the Books, and that discusses a support network that Cindy Thomason of Books Keep created. It's geared toward her women clientele to give them an opportunity to come together and discuss struggles and successes unique to them. There's also a post called Love and Work Makes a Better Business, and that talks about a book that Cindy based her entire Books Keep business principle on. And the third post is Take Time to Manage Time, and that outlines a webinar about time management and productivity. So if you're interested and you have some time, check all of those blog posts out at www.bookskeep.com.
Yay, we love Books Keep.
We love Books
She does a podcast now, right? With Robin Johnson, I think.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
If you guys, if you're not familiar with Bookskeeper with Cindy Thomason, we talk about her all the time on this show. She's a really good friend of ours, and she just really has some amazing tips and resources, and it's a lot of it is free on the website. And she has a personal website as well, and that is geared more toward women entrepreneurs and mompreneurs. But really, as I've said before, the tips that she provides are really for anyone who has their own business.
All right. And now I'm sorry we don't have a card for you yet, Andrea, but
Okay.
it's time for the IL
You
blog
sounded so
post.
sad.
I know I am sad.
Okay.
We need to get one. Oh, she's sad too. That's who you're talking about. Okay. Everybody's sad.
So I made a blog post about 4 ways to avoid Q4 burnout. I thought this was very important to put out to our users and to any Amazon seller, any e-commerce seller. For ways to avoid Q4 burnout, it's that time of year again. Been desperately waiting for Q4. Just kidding. As we all know, Q4 can induce a lot of stress, anxiety, and burnout from running an Amazon business. Getting prepped for taxes, finalizing your holiday sales, and making sure you have buy costs entered for your inventory evaluation report can take a toll on your mental health and well-being. One of the first things that you can do is to take things piece by piece. As the saying goes, don't bite off more than you can chew. And this applies to burnout when running a business too. So instead of worrying about the big picture and approaching everything everywhere all at once, take a much slower approach when managing certain aspects of your business. Another way to avoid burnout is self-care, doing actual self-care to yourself. And while running a business can be hectic, make sure you take time for yourself to do self-care. And self-care is about doing things for yourself. It's not just alone time. So it should be time to unwind and get your mind off of everyday stressors and things that may be bothering you, a time to make yourself the center of attention. And it can be anything from doing a coloring book, collecting recipes you want to try, listening to music, grabbing coffee and reading a book in a cafe, or anything else that relaxes your mind and removes you from the stress of life. That's what it's mostly about. And ask for help when you can. Never be afraid to seek help when you need it, whether it's hiring holiday help to assist with your business operations or reaching out to e-commerce selling groups or networks. You should always ask questions to get the help you need. While we're not tax experts at Inventory Lab, we do have some helpful articles to get you through what you need to at the end of the year for tax season. And if you do decide to hire holiday help, you could actually add unlimited amount of employee accounts to Inventory Lab. So that's pretty cool. Unlimited amount of employee accounts, sub accounts. And lastly, reward yourself and your team. You deserve to treat yourself for all your hard work during Q4. So please remember to reward yourself. And it's different than self-care in that the rewards can be shared with your team members or anyone else who has helped you along the way. Even setting small rewards for yourself to work on Q4 goals is a great way to tackle the hardest time of the year. So there you have it. Those are the 4 ways to avoid Q4 burnouts. You guys think of any other ways to avoid burnout?
No, those are all good points.
You had really good points. Yeah. I think the big one is definitely taking care of yourself and doing actual self-care. I think that's the fastest way that people burn out. Running your business, especially an e-commerce business, is extremely stressful. So, and it's kind of like the way parents are, we're so busy taking care of everybody else, forget to take care of yourself. When you're so busy taking care of your business, because that's your baby,
right.
you forget to take care of yourself too. So,
yeah, I really like to stress self-care because honestly, that's what's going to protect you the most, I think. I don't know.
I was trying to get my computer to work.
Oh no.
Fiends Only wanted some information on employee accounts. So, yeah, you just go up to your, let me just put this back up on the screen. So you go up to your name here, click on settings, and then there's a tab for adding an employee account. And if you go to the Help Center, just type in employee, you'll get a step-by-step article on how to create and then manage. And so these accounts, you can give as much access or as little access to your Inventory Lab account as you want. So you can limit it to just certain areas or give them full access. And once they accept it, then they log in under their own login using your Seller Central credentials tied to the Inventory Lab account. So they're working in your account, but again, you can give them their own login. So anyway, to find that, you want to go to a little icon up here when you're logged into Stratify, and then just go Help Center, and then search for employee, and it'll walk you through that.
Yeah, our employee accounts are really cool, I think.
Yeah.
People love our employee accounts.
All right. Now it's time for customer coaching. So, oh, my computer keeps messing with me. There we go. Anyway, employee or customer coaching, same process. If you want to find it, just go up to the little icon here over by your name, go to Help Center, right here at the bottom, webinar customer coaching resources, and then you can click here to see the 5 classes we currently have offered. We're going to be phasing these in and out as the year progresses, and then next year, so there'll be some new ones. So this is going to be changing. So all you have to do is click here, gives you a little information, and then you can sign up for all of them, any one of them here, or if you want to sign up for this specifically, just click at this link here and then download the PDF about the class. So it's been pretty helpful, I think, for the people that have attended. So looking forward to expanding that. And yeah. All fun. Right. That's awesome. It actually has. Yeah. So I do have a card for you now. There you go.
Yay! Amazon news. All right. So first off, Amazon sellers in China return. So Chinese sellers have recouped the market share they lost in Amazon over the past 2 years. It looks like they were abandoning Amazon for a while, but that has since turned out false. The share of sales in Amazon Marketplace in the US by Chinese sellers is at an all-time high. According to Marketplace Pulse research, the percentage of total feedback volume and separately of the top sellers in the back-to-back levels seen in November 2020. While inherently rudimentary, the two analysis methods confirm the same directionality of sales volume. So Chinese sellers continue to do well in Amazon because virtually all use the fulfillment by Amazon, or FBA as you know, to store and fulfill inventory. Some American sellers ship from owned warehouses and others 3PLs. The seller's business address is thus only relevant as the location the seller employs staff and pays most taxes. Consumers by design are oblivious to the whereabouts of sellers on Amazon. So if you look at the map, if you look at the chart here, you'll be able to see how since 2016, the percentage goes up. And it went down a little bit in 2022. I think because of the IP, intellectual property complaints that Amazon was dealing with. So I think that caused that little dip there in 2022. But it looks like they have since, there's been a resurgence. So that's pretty cool. So it stopped in March 2022. Since then, the trend has reversed and Chinese sellers quickly regain the lost market share. American sellers still make up more than 50%, but they will likely soon dip below. So there is growing sentiment in China that sellers could cut reliance on Amazon. In the future, Chinese foreign trade enterprises should avoid reliance on Amazon, wrote Hong Yang, Minister of Commerce linked Associate Research Fellow. Earlier this year, Hong Yang published an op-ed in the overseas edition of the People's Daily titled "Defusing the Risk of Chokehold in China's Cross-Border E-commerce Channels." So I'll have to give that a read. It sounds really good. But yeah, well, Amazon's mass suspension of hundreds of top Chinese sellers shocked the market. And new marketplaces like Shine and Temu, I haven't heard of Temu. Have you guys heard of Temu?
No.
No, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah. But it appeared to offer a way out. Chinese sellers did not quit Amazon. Made in China, sold in Amazon is still the norm. So I thought that was really interesting. Oh, apparently Temu is now the most downloaded shopping app in the US. So I'm behind.
Yeah, I can't keep up with all those either.
No, I can't. So we have another news article. Well, first it's from the Amazon Services Seller Forums about the new sales-based financing to grow your business. So Amazon's now excited to announce that they have a new sales-based financing solution designed to give eligible sellers on the Amazon store convenient access to capital they need to grow their business. So with a merchant cash advance from Paraffin, sounds like they're working with Paraffin, your business can receive between $500 and $10 million for a fixed capital fee with flexible payment schedule linked to a predetermined percentage of your business's future sales until the funding is fully paid off. There's no interest, no personal collateral required, and no late fees. So if you're approved, you can access these funds to cover any type of business expense, including inventory management, payroll and hiring, marketing, or new product and solution development. So this program is fully digital, so you can quickly complete the application online, and if approved, get funds into your account in a matter of days, if not hours. So a little more about Paraffin. They started by a dedicated group of data scientists and engineers. Paraffin is a business financing provider that was founded with the mission to grow small businesses. So it looks like they're working with Amazon to do this new sales-based financing. So it's based on your sales and your volume as a seller. It sounds like it's based on your volume as a seller, with how much you can actually borrow or take out. But that's pretty cool, I think.
Sounds like similar to a crew me that we had on, was it several months ago with Don Hennig? You can look that up in the recordings on YouTube or on Facebook. That was a good episode too. But I like on these forums, I like the comment section because that's where the real gems are. Yep. So the comment here, how are we supposed to grow our business with Amazon's restock limits? I mean, they're not wrong.
And people asking, no interest, nothing is free. What are the fees?
I guess it looks like 12% of daily sales is the repayment rate. That does seem kind of high, not net proceeds. So
yeah, that's high.
But some of these, I won't go into all of them, but yeah, there's the comments are really where the gold is.
To try FBM.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So and now, huh?
Sorry. I was going to say there's another article if you want to link it to, but.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This one here.
Yeah. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Andrea. Now we have a double dose of Andrea, actually, because she's going to do our. Oh, it didn't play. Oh, I clicked the wrong one.
Whoops.
Dang it. Okay, well, I'm going to do it anyway because I like it. So there we go. I'm going to have to give up control here. I can't get the right.
Oh, no, really?
Right effects going. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I was like, really? So, Tales from Support. You may have heard of something called Send to Amazon. Send to Amazon, STA. So that's one of our main pain points that we've been dealing with over the past few weeks because Amazon decided to kind of switch things up on their end, it seems like. So now it's going to be, for now, we're asking you to stick to the old workflow. You'll be prompted after you create your shipment and go to Seller Central, you'll be prompted to either select if you want to move to the send to Amazon workflow or if you want to stay with the old workflow. For now, we are suggesting that you stay with the old workflow. And that's because if you stay with the old workflow, you'll be able to edit your box contents. You'll be able to edit everything in your shipment. But if you do the send to Amazon, you actually cannot edit anything in your shipment once you submit your box contents. So that's a real pain point for a lot of our users, our customers, because you'll find a few extra. You'll find that you can fit a few extra with the restock limit. Well, I'm going to add a few more units onto my my box contents. So we ask that you just stick with the old workflow for now. We are working on how to handle the new send to Amazon workflow though. So don't worry, that is on our radar. But for now, please stick to the old workflow. And you'll see here, it looks like Jeff's going to demonstrate real quick what it looks like.
Yeah, I was just signing into one box, and then this is the dimensions, and so then I can submit it. And then you just want to wait until you get the success message. This is our test account, so things kind of move slower. So you want to wait until you get the success message for this shipment, and it should show up here. Hopefully we won't have errors on this because we're not approved to sell on a lot of things.
We're not approved to sell. I know we're not approved to sell these things.
No, we're not? Okay.
No, we're not. Not the googly eyes.
Well, if we were approved, we could click here on the shipment and it would automatically open in Seller Central. And so this happens on every shipment. You see it opens to the old for just a second, and then it switches to this screen. And what Andrea was talking about, you want to make sure you select return to old workflow, because if you do that, I could go back and edit my box contents, transmit it again, and it would update in Seller Central. But if I chose send to Amazon, my shipment is going to go over just exactly as I sent it, and I can't make any changes at that point, even in send to Amazon. So you're kind of stuck. So that's why we say click there, and then it'll take you to the old workflow. Mm-hmm. And the reason that works is because we use the API. If you were trying to do this on your own manually to create shipments, you wouldn't get this screen. You would have to go to send to Amazon. But it looks like it did go through there. So you can see 20, 10, 10, 10. So
you got the screen success box. Woohoo.
So now let's just say I want to change that. Maybe I only got 9 and I need to retransmit. So I transmit updated boxes to send the new box contents. I'll see. Okay. Even our test account gets hit with that stuff. So I think it's because it thinks I'm sending more than I am. But if I were to, let's see if it'll even let me. No. Well, what it would do is if I were able to send that again, then it would change here as well as changing on this part. And I could edit the number. I could edit, the box weight and dimensions. But if I chose the send to Amazon, then it wouldn't allow me to do that. And we have access to that. Who knows how long? Amazon is working with our developers, like Andrea said. So hopefully they'll come up with a way for that to continue. But we're just kind of waiting to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. So, looks like Lynette has a question. Lynette Snow. Do you have to do box content?
No. You have to do box contents if you have more. If you have.
I was going to say you don't have to do it through Inventory Lab, but you do have to do box contents.
Yeah, and if you have it on for the batch, so if you were to create a batch and turn this off, then we wouldn't send box contents feed or anything like that. You'd go to Seller Central to assign all that, or you'd go to send to Amazon, depending on which one you choose. But if it's one box, you don't technically have to submit it. But if it's more than one box, then you do, regardless of which way you do it. So
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm a frat guy. I went to some frat parties though.
Is it because of the poster behind you, or?
Yeah, or the hat.
Maybe.
Could be. Could be. So yeah, so we just suggest you use old workflow for now. So
Yeah.
and
That's
related to
definitely
that,
chill. Oh, you have some more?
no, I'll just
Oh, okay.
switch to quick tips.
Yay.
I
Quick
should have let you
tips.
segue out. So,
Oh, wow.
but anyway, for quick tips related to that, if you do the send to Amazon, sometimes, and Amazon's aware of the problem and they've acknowledged that it's on their end, so they're trying to fix this. But when you send the box contents, sometimes the boxes flip. So what you think is box 1 of 3 is actually in Amazon on the send to Amazon page. Maybe it's box 3 of 3. So what you have to do is match up the labels to the box. And so this article, again, in our help section, just go to Help Center, and then you want to look for either boxes or out of order. Let's see which one works. I'm in there. Two boxes out of order. That'll give you the article and kind of explains what happens over there. And so we also offer a suggestion on how to match up those labels with the correct box so that when Amazon scans those in, they're getting the correct information. So what you'd want to do is you'll want to check in send to Amazon for the weight or the contents, weight, and dimensions of the boxes. And you just click on the view, edit contents. And once you have that, then you can match up those shipping labels that you're getting with the boxes that you have. So, and all you have to do is reference the contents of the boxes by checking the packing list. And so on this one, let's see, shipment packing list right here. I can click there. I don't want the image. If I cancel out of there, it'll tell me what's in each box. If I had multiple boxes, it would tell me. So then I can match up those labels to the right box. So it's kind of cumbersome, but they are working on it. They just don't have a fix yet. So hopefully soon that'll get fixed. So, and that's all I got.
All right. Looks like we have some questions.
All right.
Let's see. Daryl says, still learning IL, but one of the features I think may be missing, that I may be wrong and just don't know what I don't know. But is there a way to add items before you actually receive them? Like say I buy 10 items and I put them in IL, but from what I see in IL shows them in inventory, even though I don't have them in my hands.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can add them to your unlisted inventory page. So if you do that, you can search for your current inventory. If you don't have any here, you can just add an item. And if you want to tie it to a listing in Amazon, which is usually what you'd want to do if you're going to send it in anyway, you would search by ASIN or by keyword. So ugly eyes, but spell correct probably messed it up there. But okay, so like this one, if this is the one that I was going to purchase, I could select that. It would ask me which variation do I want. That's the one I want. And it'll tie it to that listing with the description or the title and the photo, the image. Also fill in the name, and then you can put in the quantity, your buy cost, all of that stuff. And then you just add it to your unlisted inventory. And then when you get them in hand, or if you're using a prep center, once they get them, you can go to the list and prep page. And when you're there, you want to make sure that this search button shows Amazon plus unlisted, because you want to be able to search your unlisted inventory as well. So you first have to select a batch. And I didn't really add those, so I'm just going to search for something I know is in there. So folders, If I search for folders, or if I put the ASIN in, or even the UPC, it'll still connect to what I have in unlisted. And then I can select those. And so let's say I had 12 that I purchased, but I hadn't listed yet. I'm going to replenish. Whoops. And so, oops, did I select the wrong one? I think I did. Cancel that out.
Oh, your unlisted. Do you want to look at your unlisted matches or?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I picked them wrong. Here's the unlisted at the top. So what it does is it tells you how many you have here and how many you want to list. So maybe you don't want to send in all 10, but maybe you want to send in half. You can put in how many you want to send and then add those to the batch once you do. And you can do it that way. The other way to do it is just create a batch and put all those items in the batch. And as long as you just have the batch sitting here and you have not sent the batch feeds, then nothing is going to be sent to Amazon. It won't show up in your regular inventory. Just wait there until you have those in hand or your prep center does. And then you can then send the batch feeds, because you can leave a batch open, like say these were the items that you ordered but don't have yet. You can put all that information in here. And then just leave it in the batch field. Just don't review it or process it. And then those feeds won't get sent to Amazon.
Yeah, so you can add them to a batch, and it won't be listed right away, to a private batch. It won't be listed right away. It will stay in that batch, and then once you're finally ready to list it, you just submit your feeds and go from there.
Yeah. I think what maybe happened is you're sending the feeds. If they're showing up in inventory and you're just listing them in a batch, then that's probably what happened. So just don't go that far with it.
Yeah. Any other questions from the audience?
Let's see.
I'm just scrolling back. Did we address this one by Kevin before?
No, we haven't.
Reconciled is showing last Monday. How do I refresh my data?
So your last date reconciled on your profit and loss report is just the last time you received your resettlement report from Amazon. So you'll see at the top the date last reconciled right there. That's the last time you received your settlement report from Amazon, and we receive that about once every 2 weeks. Now, while you're waiting for the settlement report to appear, you're still receiving more data like returns and fees and sales and all of that stuff. So that's still getting reported in between the last date reconciled. It's just that we received your settlement report with all the final stuff on it every 2 weeks. So you won't be able to update that date manually, but it will update automatically once you receive your next settlement report. So let's see, do we have anything else? A lot of good holidays in here.
Yeah, there are.
No one has mentioned Festivus, though. A little disappointed.
For the rest of us.
Yeah.
For the rest of us, yeah. Oh, here's one. Capital fee. If that's showing up on your profit and loss down here in this section, like a reserve capital, that's if you have an Amazon loan or capital services. It doesn't affect your profit and loss. It's just informational only. I think is if that's what you're referring to.
So let's see.
Can you ever really have too much Roadhouse stuff? I think
No.
so, but
It's just ridiculous.
it's an acquired taste for some. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who's new here, we don't normally spend that much time on it.
Yeah.
No.
Usually there's just like a reference, like a passing reference to the movie. So rest assured, every time if you come back and see us the next time we're on the air, I promise there won't be that much. Like I said, mostly it's just
it's just been a while since we've seen Kim, so
yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Get all that out. It's been like a month.
Sometimes we'll just,
So
yeah, it'll be like, a quote from the movie that we don't even acknowledge. Like we just know it's a quote from the movie. So,
yep. Yep.
oh, we got a bunch of questions here though, all of a sudden. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so Scott wants to know, is there any update on why merchant fulfilled batches take hours to show in Seller Central? It's been several months.
So the reason why it takes so long is because Amazon is still receiving the feeds. It's not that we haven't sent them. We're waiting for their response in a way. So I don't know. Jeff, do you have anything to add?
I know that there were tickets about that, and I think best probably to reach out to support if you're still having issues, because I don't have an answer for you, to be honest. I'm not familiar with that issue. I know there for a while they weren't. Amazon wasn't showing that inventory that you're sending as active when they should have been active, and it took longer than normal.
Or it will say incomplete.
Yeah. So I'm sorry I don't have an answer for you on that, but definitely reach out to support if you're still having the issue. I mean, we can check on our end, but if we're sending them and Amazon's accepting them, I'm not sure why either. But it's possible that there's a ticket open with Seller Central support from our developers. So, okay, so it's still a continuing issue. I don't really have I can't really look at those here and without revealing
user information.
some of your information. So for those in-depth ones like that, I don't have an answer for you on that.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's going to alleviate once we switch from MWS feeds API to the seller partner API. I hope that it does improve with that, but we won't know until December 31st. So until they switch us over finally. So hopefully with the new seller partner API, the feeds will be received faster. If you look at the MWS server status on the status page, it still says that feeds, it's been, let's see, as of November 10th today, service experienced delay in feed processing starting at 10/28/2022. So it has been going on at least since October, a couple weeks ago. So there is a service experience delay in feed processing. So I think that's what you might be running into now. It's been like that for a few weeks, and we did have a toast up about it where you'd see it every time you log in, but we figured that might be a little too annoying, so we took it down. But that might be a reason why the feeds are sending a little slower too right now. So hopefully with December and the new year, it's going to be fixed.
Total sales value made up of FBA shipments and receiving and shipped, or only closed FBA shipments? Are you talking about, if you could clarify where you're seeing that? I'm not sure what. Because your sales value, do you mean like on the well, the valuation is only for cost. So if you could clarify where you're talking about. But sales value would be if, or do you mean on inventory? So like, probably overview. So the sales value for, the sales value, if this is what you're talking about, that's for your inventory that you have on hand and inbound. So if they all sold at the list price that you have them set for, then that would be the sales value. So once they've, arrived at the fulfillment center, they're on hand, but while they're en route, obviously in transit, if that's what you mean. Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to look up the merchant fulfilled issue, and I'm not seeing it in the JIRAs that we use, but still looking.
Mhm. So let's see. Edward wants to know, do I need QuickBook if IELTS has accounting? Um, we have a lot of users who use both QuickBooks and Inventory Lab. And we do have an open user suggestion for us to integrate with QuickBooks. So if you want to write into us and let us know that you would like, if you would like to open up a ticket with us and let us know that you would like IL to be integrated with QuickBooks, please write us in and please write us, and we'll add you to the ticket, and we'll show that there are more and more users who are wanting this feature. So the more users we have wanting the feature, the more likely it is to be implemented if it can be implemented. So please write us in and let us know that that's something that you'd want to see, so we'd be able to take a look at that. All right.
Daryl has a question. I know you guys are not accountants, but I thought I saw a spot where you could put the shipping costs. Or shipping costs are write-off on taxes. The short answer on this is yes. So whenever you have a small business, online business, the IRS states that what a business expense is it has to be both ordinary and necessary. And they do consider shipping costs in most cases to be both ordinary and necessary to run a business. However, always check with the IRS. I mean, there's a ton of information on the IRS webpage. Always check there to see if there's any exceptions to that, and just to make sure that in your particular case that would apply. But like I said, in most cases, as long as it's considered ordinary and necessary, then yes.
Yeah.
All right, what other question? I know we have some other ones too.
Yeah.
We'll try to get to all of them, guys. We apologize if we don't. How does Inventory Lab handle refunds on the PL page?
Jeff, I think returns are more,
Yeah.
or refunds are your specialty, so I'll let you take it from here.
So again, this is our test account, but so it's going to look a little different because now we go by the Amazon disposition. So whatever Amazon says the condition is of the returned item, it's going to show here, and that could be either be unsellable or sellable. If it's sellable, it goes back into your inventory total, and we remove the buy cost from the cost of goods sold on your profit and loss. So this is still valid. If it's unsellable, we add the inventory back in just like Amazon does, but it's unfulfillable inventory. It's a separate place where they put it. We still remove the buy cost because we don't know yet how it's going to be accounted for yet until you either have it disposed of or you have it returned. So if you get a return that's unsellable, you need to fill out either have Amazon dispose of that item or put in a removals order. And when you put in a removals order, it's under reports. It's going to show up here. And let's see if I can get some to show up. Probably have to go back quite a ways.
Yep. There we go.
So when you get a removals order entered, Amazon will let us know that there's a removal order in progress, and the status will show here. Now, if it's pending, it's going to have the squiggly line in yellow, and that means they're working on it. So a little tip is you can't change the disposition on these until you get everything from that removal order returned to you. So if you have a removal order and you've got 100 items on there, you're going to be waiting a while before Amazon gets them all done. And since they charge a per item fee anyway, the cost shouldn't be any different if you make smaller removal orders. So maybe if you do a lot of removals, maybe 10 in an order, Amazon, once they finish those up and get those completed, they'll put the check mark here. And once it's updated to us, then those show up on the disposition management page. Excuse me. Now, once they're here, they're going to reflect the disposition that you set by clicking on this little gear icon. You can either have them, let's test account, so slow. Okay. So you can have removals go with Amazon default, just like your refunds, or you can, if you determine after a time that maybe most of the ones that come back are actually sellable, you could set this to sellable so that your returns on the disposition management page are sellable when they come in. And then you'd only have to change a few of them to unsellable, or it could be vice versa. Maybe they're all unsellable and you just have to change a few to sellable. But either way, you can also set just Amazon default. You can also set your merchant fulfilled disposition here. But once it's on this page, if it's truly unsellable, then we would put in the buy cost here and add that back into the cost of goods sold. If it's sellable, no adjustment would be made normally because we already took that out with the initial refund. Then you would just have to send that item back in. If you go to the Help Center, that's kind of a quick overview, but if you go to the Help Center, there's several really good articles on disposition management, refunds, and removals and disposal that kind of walk you through that whole process.
Okay, I just want to follow up real quick on Daryl's question about whether shipping costs were tax deductible, because he said that's what his accountant told him, but just not sure what that means. So I found a link about small business shipping charges and whether they're tax deductible. It's a really neat article. Just go ahead and read that. It does give some really good information. And again, you can always refer to the IRS site. There's a ton of information on there, but this article kind of goes over the details of that, and I kind of think makes it, breaks it down into something that's a little easier to understand.
And going further on that, we do, if it's in the settlement report and you pay Amazon for the shipping to Amazon, it'll show up under your other expenses as an overhead amount. It won't be per item, but it'll be a overall amount for the shipping, and that's where it'll show up. So it comes off of your other expenses on the profit and loss. So we do track that as long as it's charged through the settlement report. But if you pay for your own shipping to Amazon, or you're shipping from a supplier to you, you'd have to enter that manually. All right.
Looking like 458.
Yep. Down to it.
It's time.
Okay.
Well, thanks for all your questions, guys. We really appreciate.
Yeah, we had a lot of good ones. Sorry we couldn't answer some of them. Let's see here. Make sure you get your comments in if you want to win swag.
Last chance.
Or just throw that hashtag holiday in there.
Yeah. How many are we giving away? We should decide. Got 9 entries.
Oh wait, go back. There's someone just entered.
Go back. Daryl, put it in anyway if you haven't already. You never know.
Okay.
No, Daryl, you actually have to put the hashtag. Get the little hashtag. And then Christmas. Oh, you can't find
shift 3. Shift 3.
Hashtag holiday. Just like it says here in the
Yeah,
screen there.
there you go. There you go. Well,
Oh.
it's got to be holiday though. Sorry, guys. I know it was a little confusing because we asked you to tell us what your favorite holiday was, but then use hashtag holiday.
Oh, there we go.
There we
Okay,
go,
it's
Nick.
updating.
Yeah, you got it.
All right.
There you go, Daryl. Perfect.
There we go. All right.
All right.
Dave
Dave.
Harrington.
There we go.
Should we give out 3 today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Again.
Beans only. Congratulations.
There we go. All right. And our last one.
Gloria. Yay.
Okay. All right, Gloria. Well done.
Come on. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she does. Okay. All right. So, again, send an email to support@inventorylab.com. And
With your mailing address, the best mailing address.
yeah, make sure to include a mailing address. And we'll get that swag out to you as soon as we get all of the pieces. We're still waiting for a few more, so we're kind of backlogged a little bit, but we'll get it out there.
Should we do a 4th box? They're asking for a 4th box.
Sure,
I think we should give them a 4th box.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
One more.
Oh,
No,
well, one more time.
Nope, one
Can't
more
win
time.
twice.
You can only win once.
All
There you
right.
go.
Blend
All
that.
right. Nice. Congratulations to
All
everybody.
right. All right.
Sorry,
Well,
Daryl.
yeah, sorry, Daryl.
Daryl's like, I always lose.
Don't worry. There's always next
Join
time.
us
Keep
next
trying.
time. We give it away every single time.
Yep, every
Yeah.
other week.
Every time. But of course, we
Oh.
should mention we won't be here 2 weeks from now because that's Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So no OpenLab. So it'll be in a month. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I had. Unless you guys had something else.
No, I think we're
don't
good.
forget- yeah, if you guys had more questions or something specific to your account, just open up a ticket, send us an email at support@inventorylab.com, and apologize if we didn't get to your question today.
Yeah.
And with that, that's it.
All right,
Happy
thanks for
Thanksgiving.
joining us.
When it hits.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.